Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the squad. It's Black Ice Water and yours truly, Puma. Let's go to college football. I mean, I've been impressed with some of these games I've been watching. I watched Illinois against Nebraska. I watched Colorado. The first half was atrocious. I thought Colorado, this was going to be the end of their season. Came back. I was watching it with my cousin on a phone, and I'm like, I can't believe they're coming back. The top four teams hold their position, Black. What have been the impressive players or the games or teams you've been seeing this week?
I'm gonna go right there, man. Colorado, basically, and Boulder. Baylor. But ironically, I've been seeing some teams, that's not ranked playing some good football too, man. Tulane, um, and a couple of schools I can't think of right now. They've been playing some very impressive football. And I think I said to you earlier that the NFL's in a real good position because a lot of these young players are freshmen, and some of them can walk right into the league right now and play better than some of the NFL players are playing right now. But going back to the Baylor and Colorado game, man, I was happy just the way that game ended, of course, but the way they kind of basically fought towards the end, that's nice, man. To be on prime time on a Saturday night and just to see the euphorism and the excitement that was going on with the Colorado players, not players, the fans and that stadium. And when the last time you seen Colorado pack out like that and be that happy, man?
No.
So a lot of times people, they go at Deion and say some things, but I guarantee you, man, that campus this week is going to be more than electric. Yeah, I'm looking forward to them making to a bowl, and he's building something there.
They're halfway there. They're halfway there, Ice. What is some of the players, the teams and games that really impress you? Because I know you and I went back and forth, and I'm like, Illinois is reminding me of those old Big Ten teams that they just move the chains, move the chains. If they got a shot, they're gonna take it, but they don't give up. They're just gonna move the chains. The game's gonna last 4 hours, but that's Big Ten football.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick right there. And I was wondering why you was on that wagon. And you don't like nothing Illinois, and you've been living there for 49 years. You don't like nothing over there. So when you said you like Illinois, I was like, somebody must have gave you some free cupcakes or something, because you don't roll with nobody in that state. But very impressed by Illinois from the standpoint of they're now 4-0, right? And I watched that Nebraska game. Nebraska got a little moxie. But Illinois' quarterback, Luke Hare, man, dude is nasty. I think he's completing like 71% of his passes over the season, throw for 862 yards, 10 TDs, no interceptions. No interceptions. So when he came out there, they had a lot more talent than what I thought. I was surprised by that. So Illinois is definitely knocking on the door. I know everybody pumped up about Colorado, but I'm gonna just say this, bro. I ain't mad at Prime, and don't come for me. I know y'all hate me. Don't come for me, Prime. I'm just saying they got a couple of superstars and they're rolling. But did you up here jumping like they about to make the playoffs, bro? Come on, man, miss me with that.
No.
Let's go deeper than that, okay? That's the normal thing. Let's go deeper with some teams that's making noise that people go, damn, I didn't even think about that. Let's talk about James Madison, that's 3-0. That shellacked North Carolina 70-50. Got Mac Brown ready to resign and everything.
Yeah.
Let's talk about James Madison. You want to talk about some other teams? Also, Rutgers. Rutgers is 3-0. Let's talk some different stuff instead of Colorado and Deion and all the hype. I would like my man said from Marshall, and we don't have a lot of NIL money, but we got free food. You want to come? We told you we got unlimited food table. You want to eat? Come on over here. And speaking of Marshall, although this young man versus Ohio State wasn't electric, but he had some amazing plays. This dude's gonna play on Sunday. It's a dude by the name of Elijah Metcalf, wide receiver. He's only 5'6", 668 pounds. He made like 3 amazing catches. And Marshall, I was like, wow. I said, he's gonna play on Sundays. A little guy, like D like him, little scat back, but he can catch the ball. He gonna make some money somewhere just because that's how he is. Really nice guy. Other team, real quick, I'd say would be got to be impressed with Tennessee. I mean, it's just what it is. They're 4-0. We get excited, and they tell you one way or another. They'll show you after about the sixth game whether or not they're for real. But right now, even though they won a very tough game, you got to give them some kudos for what they did so far.
I don't think Colorado is expecting to be in that 12-team playoffs. I think they're just trying to get to a bowl game at this particular point. That would be
Yeah.
the goal for this year. Then, try to build on that the following year, because I don't expect them to be in the playoffs. But to get to 6 games, that would be good for them, or 7 games, and then get into a bowl game. Just to give those guys experience on what it's like to play in a bowl game. I think that'd be good enough for Colorado right now.
I mean, I'm with you on that. But when you just mentioned get ready, get pumped up, but is Deion gonna be there after next year?
We don't know. Time will tell.
Come on, bro.
What was that question? Would Deion be there next year?
Yeah, after his son leaves.
I think so. I mean, when I look at it, where else is he going to go, bro? I mean, at this point, his son's going to the NFL, granted, but I don't think NFL teams will open the door for him. So I don't see him basically going anywhere. Not yet. I think for him to go anywhere, in my opinion, he's got another 3 years to kind of knock down the door there, bro. In my opinion.
I feel you. I guess I'm just waiting to see it. And I ain't mad at Deion, whatever he decide to do. But, it could be like, hey, I got my kids where they need to be. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. And I'm out. I'm just saying. That's just me. Unless his other son is going to stick around and you got Travis Hunter. I mean, now it's on you. Because now you got to recruit. You got to go get somebody else besides the people that you brought. And you got to prove that's what you can do. Not saying he can't do it. But my question is, does he want to do that?
Yeah. And I'll tell you right now, Travis Hunter is the truth. He can affect the game on both sides of the ball. That jarring of that ball to help them secure that win. I mean, what else can you ask from that young man? He's going to be playing on Sundays too. Speaking on Sundays, NFL, stay tuned to our NFL picks. Puma took a licking this week. But anywho, you got
too much champagne.
Yeah, too much champagne. But Baltimore and Philly found our identities. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-0. I didn't think they can get past the Chargers, but when the Chargers quarterback went out, Pittsburgh defense just took over. Dallas drops 2 in a row at home. Didn't think it was going to happen. That screwed me up. And Green Bay keeps rolling without their starting quarterback. And is Minnesota for real? Ice, I'm going to you on this.
Hey, look, let me just say this. You got to give Minnesota some love. They destroyed the Texans. They're 3-0. Sam Darnold, 4 touchdowns. Like, whoa. And I like the Texans a lot, but they got shellacked. And Minnesota's playing with a vengeance. They're playing really hyped up. I don't know what they're going to do down the line, but they're damn sure impressive right now. Other teams, real quick. I got to do this, though. Them damn Lions. Yes, sir. Appreciate them Lions. Eddie Kelly, I know you watched the game, bro. Appreciate you. Lions. So,
doing what better not be watching this game.
Doing what they had to do on the road versus Arizona. And Arizona brought everything they could. Just 2 other things we can real quick. Packers. Malik Willis going back to Tennessee, playing against his old team. Very impressive. Don't have to be a savior. Very impressive. And last but not least, I know y'all don't want to take too much of the thunder, but I will be remiss. And I know the quarterback got hurt and all that, but you got to give some love to them damn Pittsburgh Steelers, because when they were in the red zone and Justin Fields had the ball, and I looked and I was like, what the hell doing? I was like, when he scored Randy for the touchdown, I said, that's what they're missing. Didn't have that before, where you can just run in there and get that done, which makes you accountable in a lot of different ways. And once they got tuned up, that defense was ready to go, they're going to be a problem. So, for all y'all, Justin, I ain't saying he's no savior, but Justin Fields understands what it's like to be a game manager and has somebody that appreciates him right now at this point. Congratulations, Justin. Hang in there, brother.
Like, if you get a chance to go on iHeartRadio and listen to Dan Hampton and Obi before and after Bears game, it is hilarious to listen to those two complain and yell, especially when Obi, he's an old school football player, starts screaming. It is hilarious. It's worth the listen to them before and after the game, because they let the Bears have, I don't even know why they're still on the air, but they let the Bears have it. Your thoughts on the NFL this week, man?
Well, I'm going to start there real quick with the Bears, man. I looked at the stats of that young quarterback throwing almost 30 times in the first half. What are they doing, man? What are they doing? I mean, they're buying into the hype. This guy's the next Mahomes or other stuff. That cat should not be throwing. He should probably throw under 20 passes the whole game. Seriously. If that should be basically the high. And I'm like 27. I just said, yes, Minnesota's for real, man. Minnesota's for real. That coach of that team is, you know what? They didn't blink an eye when Kirk's Cousins they wanted to go. See, they didn't blink an eye, man. They just kept it moving. They got some receivers. And I forgot to point this out last week. Remember with the Jefferson touchdown? And not a lot of people talked about it, but I think it was a 90-somebody touchdown. You remember seeing the referee ran past Jefferson in that play?
Yeah.
He could actually tackle Jefferson if he wanted to, man. He got closer to the quarterback, man. I was hollering watching that. But I'm going to tell you, man, one thing that surprised me about this, you spoke of the Steelers, but there's some teams, man, that we assumed before the season started, San Fran was going to be knocking the doors down. They don't look that good, bro. And even though Detroit won last week, you know, they kind of took me down and, you know, put me back in fourth place, but I'm not ready to believe in them, bro. And Tampa Bay, you talk about some fakers. You talk about some fakers, some true blue hardcore fakers. That's who they are. The Dallas Cowboys, I wish I had Dennis Green. They are who we thought they are. They just are who we thought they are. I don't care how much money you spend on them. I don't care what you do. They had this cat at number 11 going to the Hall of Fame already being Lawrence Taylor. You can't even find him in the last 2 points. Yeah. Can't find him. You need to go back doing your podcast, bro. Because we can't find you until.
Stop talking on your podcast. I took that last year. Stop talking on your podcast. Henry made them look like a Pee-wee football team trying to tackle him.
I love it, though. I mean, I love it. Sometimes I tune on to watch the Cowboys just to laugh at them. Now, like I was saying earlier to you, they're going to beat the Giants this week, and they're going to be back in the football. Here we go, Super Bowl. That team is not put together well mentally. Forget physically. Mentally, they're not a tough team. That defensive coordinator looks lost. He looks lost. He looked like he sat at an Applebee's calling out plays, bro. Yeah, no idea what he's doing. Simmer. I'm serious, man. But overall, good weekend of football. I'm surprised the Giants won. You know, they kind of did their thing. I don't want that to happen because the Giants continue to win. They're going to stick with their quarterback. And I'm not watching the Giants again until Danny Dimes is out of that uniform, man. But one thing I say about that, too, look at number 26 for the Eagles. That cat's run like he just came up Penn State sideline. That cat running rejuvenated. I mean, they can't get close to him. I'm sorry. Right down 95. About an hour and a half down 95.
Let's move to Major League Baseball. I looked at the stats, and I'm looking at if the season ended today, Ice, you have the LA Dodgers who would be the 2nd seed, and the Philadelphia Phillies would be the number 1 seed. In the American League, the New York Yankees would be the number 1 seed, and Cleveland would be the number 2 seed. I know the season is not really over, but are you kind of, looking at the seedings, if it ended right now, surprised on which teams are in and which teams are not in at this particular point?
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at it, there's not really I don't think there's a lot of surprise there, right? I mean, you know what's going on at the top. You mentioned Philadelphia being number 1. I think the Dodgers, when it's all said and done, Dodgers are going to be number 1. So you look at the wild card, you're looking at the 6th team in the NL would be Arizona versus Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. And then they will play the 2, which is probably Philadelphia, which would be a pretty good series coming up. Then you also look at the 5, which is the Mets and New York, the Dodgers, the San Diego's 4, and they play the Dodgers. So you kind of look at it from that standpoint. Then you look in the AL, Detroit is number 6. Houston is number 3. And the winner of that plays Cleveland.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because I don't care who it is. I can coach the Houston Astros. As long as we banging trash cans and we got our secret code going on, they got a shot. It don't matter. So everybody can get mad all they want to. They ain't spending money like the Yankees and they ain't spending money like the Dodgers. That's why y'all don't want them in there, because you know they been banging on them damn trash cans. They got a shot and they coming. So there's a chance that they can make some moves to play in Cleveland. And last but not least, from that standpoint, Kansas City, number 5 in the American League, would be facing Baltimore at 4, and the winner will play the Yankees. If that happens, watch out, particularly if it's Baltimore, because that means the Yankees would have to play Baltimore, and then you'd have to move up and possibly play maybe Cleveland or Houston to go to the World Series. And then not only that, then you move up and guess what? The Dodgers might be waiting on you. So the Yankees, as certain fans like to call out, whining all during the year, talking about they let them down. You might be let down this time because they have to go through that, what we won't call it murderer's row, but they have to go through some very tough situations. Yankees might be just, sending out checks early and people going out to the islands for their vacations. But it could be very interesting.
I told Black a few weeks ago, I'm like, I'm not really paying attention to the Yankees and to the playoffs, and they got to show up in the playoffs. You can't disappear, Judge. You can't disappear, Juan Carlos. Santo, I know you just got there. Can't disappear in the playoffs because this is usually the pattern here. You're doing well in the regular season, get to the playoffs, and it's like, do these guys even play for the Yankees anymore? But Ohtani is making history. I'm glad to see that. I mean, he's just exciting to watch. He is must-see TV. So I don't know if you want to say something quick about that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, when I said he's probably one of the few players that I would pay money to see. In fact, I even checked I forgot that the damn season was almost over. I checked the schedule to see if I could go to Cincinnati. I was like, Dodgers not coming to Cincinnati anymore. I would pay money to see that dude. Speaking of the Reds, they fired another manager with 5 games left in the season. Really? I mean, how y'all think this is going to turn around? I mean, I don't know, man. It just becomes the same old thing. Yankees spend money, Dodgers spend money, Houston messes around a little bit because they don't have any money. Tampa might do a little something because they don't have any money. But at the end, same old in baseball. And it's getting old and tired. The only thing probably you find out now is whether or not the Dodgers or the Yankees are going to collapse and somebody else is going to win the World Series.
All right, Black. Some players are finding out in the WNBA that the regular season is a little bit different than the playoffs.
Sir,
I ain't gonna say no names.
No, you don't even have to. You don't have to. They realize now that some of these players ain't playing full throttle in the regular season. Basically, Fever. Yeah, I think that's what you kind of experience now. They're not giving you all they have.
Right.
They save a little something. The intensity does ratchet up. But I think they kind of saw that to an extent. Their first game, I kind of thought they was going to feel a little better. I don't think they're going to be able to. I don't think so. For that, what you just basically stated, what is really the truth. A lot of these teams, some of the teams, especially kind of basically the Minnesotas, the Suns, Minnesota Suns, and the Aces, basically say, you know what, we'll see when the playoffs come. We'll play around with you now a little bit. We're going to save a little bit, but we're going to really dial it up them. And these coaches been there before, man. A lot of the coaches of these teams, they've been there. They know what to do. The X and O's get a little more tighter, get a little shorter. And it's going to be a tight series when it gets down to it, man. The first round is usually, kind of feeling things out a little bit, but yeah, you're right, man. I want to congratulate A'ja Wilson on basically bringing home what we already knew is going to MVP, and a hell of a season to her, man. Hell of a season. I can't imagine what she's going to do next year. I just really can't imagine. She's still so very young. But what is going to motivate her next year to basically come back out there and play some more? I just don't know. I mean, you can't, without basically giving some knowledge to the Rookie of the Year. I mean, she has brought a lot to the league. Caitlin Clark, she's brought a lot. She's done it, in my opinion, with a lot of grace. She's handled herself well. She's brought her team and elevated her team up as they elevated her up. So congratulations to her, man. I'm not going to, knock her for that. Some of the noise around her she didn't create, and I understand that. I'm happy to see too, man. I'll say this before I go, that a lot of the older players have retired. Thompson, always been a favorite of mine. It's been coming back. Maya Moore, they retired her number a few weeks ago. Maya, I still look at you, woman. I'll tell you right now. But I look at you from a different view right now. It's not the same. I'm watching my stuff. I'm watching my stuff, man. I'm watching my stuff. I seen Cheryl Swoops. A lot of them are popping them now at games and kind of speaking out, and I'm happy to see them.
Yeah. Ice, some sad news, or I like to look at it. We have another brother going. He's becoming an ancestor, or became an ancestor this week. Mercury Morris, unsung running back for the Miami Dolphins. You had Jim Kick, you had Larry Zonka, and you had Mercury Morris. Won 2 titles, was a part of that undefeated team that I always enjoyed them smoking them cigars when the last team in the NFL that was undefeated loses, and they smoke a cigar celebrating their, undefeated season. Your words on Mercury Morris, man.
Yeah, hell of a running back, and he was a lot more versatile than people knew, from the standpoint of he could block, he could catch the ball, and he just had a different way of running. Was a character though, bro. I mean, let's keep it 100. He had his moments, he had his ups and downs, but the one thing I liked about him, no matter what was going on, and he was honest about what was going on in his life, he always ended up with a smile on his face. He was like, you know what, yeah, that was some bullshit I did, but here I am now. I'm happy to be alive, happy to move forward. But hell of a dude, and he was very inspirational in a lot of ways. Like I said, he had his ups and downs, but in the end, man, he's just a carefree kind of dude that really cared about people, from my understanding, and understood the game, respected it, but also was a true professional.
Yeah. Black, I remember in the early 70s, you had O.J. Simpson, you had Chuck Foreman, and Mercury Morris is right in the mix. And a lot of people kind of forget about him when they talk about some of the great running backs. Your thoughts on Mercury Morris, man?
Absolutely, man. That, I guess you got to overshadow a little bit by playing in Miami, but I love the cat more than that, man. Awesome running back. But Mercury Morris talked some junk, bro. He wasn't afraid to talk some junk. Every time he talked around, if everybody got close to trying to go undefeated, oh, man, they found Mercury Morris, bro. He was going to talk some junk. And that, come on, man. That's something that's kind of missed now with sports. Trash talk just ain't there like it used to be. But Mercury Morris talked it on the field, off the field, wasn't afraid, it was on his mind. And every time someone would lose, if he got 14, he'd light up a cigar, go keep trying. So, man, it really, he's one of those names when you think of running backs we don't, kind of associate with, but hell of a running back. And he had to be on a team that basically didn't lose a game, bro. Had to be.
All right. Let's go to our last second shot, Black. Stay with you. Last second shot.
Woo. You know what? From time to time, man, we get caught up in who's winning, who's losing. And I know for myself, when I watch sports sometimes, I try to get away from it. Because sometimes you start grouping, and you got the fantasy football now and everything going on, so try to get the person to score. Sometimes I think we need to just pull back and realize we're watching some great athletes, man, perform at the highest level, doing some great things, man. I know everybody want to bet and do other stuff, but sometimes kick back and enjoy what's really being offered up to you. That's my last second shot.
Well said. Ice?
Yeah, I was going to talk about the Cowboys, but I already told y'all what it was going to be like in the beginning of the year. So we're not going to waste this moment. We're going to go somewhere else. In fact, we'll go to the WNBA. I watched the playoffs, started watching them and watching them very closely. And before I mentioned the Las Vegas Aces, look, hey, I watched them play early in the first round versus Seattle. And Seattle was very talented. They had a lot of different pieces and whatnot. But when Gray and Wilson decide they gonna put it on them, it's a wrap. And they collectively with Plum and their coach, they are so in tune. And it's gonna be very difficult to beat them. Watch that. And I know everybody's talking about Indiana and Caitlin Clark. Great. I'm glad you were able to do what you did for the league, and you're bringing more eyes to the game and all that. But at the end of the day, when they talking about the game, we talking about the game, not practice, the game, as we said. But when you talk about that, you had to just say to yourself, it's going to take more than one or two players. You got to come collectively. Because when the Aces, even though they may not be the number one seed right now, whatever, when they decide they want to buckle down and they come for you, it's going to take a special effort to take them down. So just remember that as you're watching these playoffs. Because A'ja Wilson is it's like she come in with attitude. I think she's a very nice person, but it's like she gets the attitude. You trying to come out here? You trying to take my stuff? What you saying? She looking for a reason. I love her attitude. She is definitely a DAWG, a dog when it comes to that court. And I'm going to enjoy watching them the rest of the way.
Great shots, fellas. My last second shot goes out to all you video gamers out there. There is a game you must have, and the proceeds go to the National Negro Baseball Museum. It's the show, the Negro Edition. I'm having so much fun being Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson and playing and getting the history of the Negro Leagues. I even got lost in the Negro Leagues, the stories and the different statistics that they're doing. I haven't got lost. I haven't even played with the regular season or the current teams now because I'm so lost in the sauce with the Negro Leagues and just learning more than I ever. There are players I've never even heard of that were in the league that were doing some great things. That you think they're doing great things now. Check out, cop that. Proceeds go to the National Negro Baseball Museum, and it's worth, even if you don't play video games, it's worth having. They give you a hat and a nice little box. to go with the hat. I'm not wearing that hat. I'm keeping it on my television as a reminder in the long history of the Negro Leagues and those players who committed to it. That's our time. We'll see you next week.